What I assume, you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. And that's the second major intention, is this acknowledgement of the celebratory aspect of deep democracy. There's this deep democratic uprising thing that I've been really fascinated by, and what's true democracy, and to really have participation, for everyone to be part of a group. Everyone has to feel they're allowed to be part of the group. Everyone has to have that permission to speak. And to have the permission to speak, you have to be able to celebrate yourself, to love yourself. And that's sort of the Whitman that we're trying to elicit here today. And so I want to do something because a very special friend of mine walked in the door, and the other major intention of mine is this idea of never letting anything become concretized, right? That when we're using poetry and we're speaking truths are spoken in the world, in a living world of human beings interacting with objects and other living things and all of this stuff, right? And we create this living world together, and so many expressions of so many different things are translatable to so many other things. And I have this crush poem, as I call it, about a poet I met at a slam once. And my backup DJ walked in the room, and I want him to come up on stage and perform with me. All right, give it up for Preston. You ready to do this? I'm going to ask you. Yeah, it's good to see you. So, this piece was actually written to a poet who's not ostensibly Walt Whitman, but who is Walt Whitman. And it could be to Walt Whitman, and we're going to do it up for you right now. Amazing grace, how sweet. To a poet whose name is another word for God. You said, you must really be into me. After I gave you 2 cigarettes when you asked for one, and I wish I'd given you the whole pack and said, hell yeah, but I only laughed awkward. You see, I'm sorry, but the problem with being the kind of person who spends 11 of every 12 hours feeling too ugly to be loved is that the more beautiful your presence is, the less I think I'm allowed in it. But I'll never forget that night. After the preliminaries at the Wade Lewis Poetry Slam in a little motel room of 11 Roman candle wildflowers, 11 little lights letting themselves shine like the 11 cities we come from, seen at night from the swing set our words hang from the clouds. You sidewalk chalked leapfrog hopscotch across blacktop thoughts, and I caught that flu called a crush. Next thing I knew, awe and inadequacy began to hand-car around the railroad tracks, circling my destiny with interwoven catch-22s, and I want to cut this number trick in half. Leave us 2 lucky numbers, sharing 1 bathtub. But right now, your sense of permission and my presence are each 1 short of the dozen we were born with. But we save our broken pieces and poems, and I want to put them together again. Connected by the dots of our cigarette tips, by the dots that we look like from the swing set in the clouds. Let this moment be a colon between you being an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10, and this being the end of the last 11 hours I just spent feeling ugly. Make a wish on this moment. I wish that you made the same wish I made in that moment, just then, when you looked at me like a question mark, caught on the coattails of an apology. I'm sorry, but I'm a superstitious man who believes too easily in everything but himself. And you've got me knocking on wood, holding my breath as we drive through this tunnel of apologies. I'm sorry, I'm afraid to say your name, even though I don't pronounce God that way. But you got me hanging from the clouds, swinging between being struck dumb and speaking in tongues. I can tell, you too, are looking for a way to say I love you. That includes everyone and everything. That you keep dusting the fairy dust from your battle wounds by telling uncomfortable truths to unsuspecting rumors.
The sun, we know this.
But you,
to sing
you're all kinds of holy.
God's praise.
So amen to your hallelujah, however you pronounce it. And I'd love to get to know you. And I see you, poet.